Hey everybody, Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. I hope that everybody is having a great week. You're off to a great start. As for me, it has been crazy, challenging. There's a lot going on. We're really pushing to get a lot done, both on the business side of things and in community projects. And I am one person and definitely still on the mend physically, trying to get my health right, but nonetheless committed to being everything I can be and doing what I can to leave my mark on the world. And so I am not one for sitting idle. Uh, but I would be lying if I said I don't feel like I need rest right now. What I want to do is I just want to take some time to sort of kind of, I guess, bring us to a state of lucidity, clarity as to the current state of affairs. There's so much going on, it's hard to keep up. Everybody's kind of caught up now in the death of Kobe Bryant. My heart goes out to his family, those whose lives he's impacted one way or another. Um, and it's so much going on in the midst of all of this. There's children, black children who are being mishandled by the education system. There are new developments in the light of mass incarceration. There are gentrification projects popping up all over the country. So we're dealing with miseducation, mass incarceration, serial forced displacement, political impotence and irrelevance. And a lot of it comes from a lack of understanding. A lot of it comes from simply not being aware of how things work, not being willing to invest in the understanding of what's going on and how we can do something about it. The inability or unwillingness to come together as a unit and collective and develop a centralized universal strategy and agenda that can put us in a position to win. We are highly individualized in our thinking, which means that even when minds that are capable of tackling this come out, they're more concerned about getting the press, getting the credit, and standing out front than working together to get things done. Unfortunately, this is the truth far more than it's not. And it shows in our discombobulation, in the chaos, in the frustration, in the failure to gain any ground. The wealth gap is widening, home ownership widening, education and so many other elements that deal with socioeconomic mobility widening. And we're sitting around arguing points and beating our chests because we feel we've won some debate with one of our brothers. We are very aggressive and hostile when addressing our brothers and sisters, and quiet and calm and docile when speaking of the atrocities of our enemies. And it's frustrating. It's so frustrating to see young black males enter into a world where there's an absence of male modeling and male role models and men that will stand in the gap. And it's difficult to watch young black girls born into situations and environments in which they will not be protected and their innocence will be vulnerable and exposed because black men are simply not in a position to step up. Those that are willing are doing everything they can, but there are many missing. Many just simply don't know any better. Many are frustrated and broken and incapable of doing anything on their own. This is an attack on black manhood. This is a call and a highlight to the realities that we face. We've got so many sisters that are survivors of incest, survivors of molestation and rape, survivors of domestic abuse, and then many who haven't survived. And we are trying to make sense of a mess that just simply does not make sense. And it's frustrating. It's heart-wrenching. It's exhausting. And you look up every day, you wake up and you go to fight. And you're wondering why, because it just seems like there's nothing out there that even comes close to being an indicator that we're making progress. And I stand, or in this case, sit before you, which is kind of good, kind of okay. I've been trying to do my best to stay out of this office all week. And I had to come in here to get some things. And I decided to sit in the quiet of it because any other time it wouldn't be quiet. Everything in the world would be going on around here. But it was quiet. So I decided to sit in the quiet. I'm actually going to head back out and get some more things done. But I decided to sit in the quiet and just talk to you guys for a while. I do what I do because I love my people. It's definitely not for the money, because it isn't any. I'm not one for popularity. I did that in the first half of my life. It doesn't produce anything of any significance. It's very superficial to be liked, and people think you're cool and everybody's patting you on the back. Because when you really need help, support, and strength, they're nowhere to be found. So I stopped seeking popularity. I stopped seeking the approbation of people a long time ago. I decided that I was going to live my life in a way that I would leave a legacy behind that would speak for me after I was gone, that I wasn't going to necessarily be seeking anybody's approval or validation during my life. I was going to live my life on full so that I could die on E. I was going to live my life with an intent of leaving an impact, with an intent of doing some great things, not for the sake of people saying they were great, but for the sake of leaving a legacy that says anything is possible for people who have suffered far too long. I'm at a place where I'm worn. Nobody knows what the people who champion the causes of a disenfranchised people go through. Nobody knows what it's like to push and fight for something that doesn't have the capacity of giving you anything that you're putting in it back, except for the smile of a little girl who you just told she was beautiful, except for the erected posture of a young black male who you've just shown what he's capable of and what his true value is. And you have to find these things that pour back into you, because it's not going to come in the way of adoration all the time. It's not going to come in the way of compensation. It's not going to come in the way of so many other things. And you have to be aware of what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you're doing it. If you don't have an understanding of the why, this thing will eat you alive, because I'm telling you, knowing why, it's still very, very frustrating and very draining. And for those people out there that are putting in the work, for those people who are putting boots on the ground, for those people who are loving on our babies, for those people who are struggling and helping to heal our women, for those who are working with our brothers to give them a sense of self, a sense of purpose, a sense of responsibility, I'm riding with you. I keep you lifted every day, every morning. I don't know you by name, but I'm lifting you because you are so desperately needed. You are immensely necessary. And while the world may not see it now, one day people will know who you were and what you did. One of the talks I have often with one of my friends, one of my closest friends and confidants, Dr. Michael Blanchard. And Michael constantly tells me that, he says, Doc, Michael is also a PhD, but he says, Doc, my biggest fear is that people won't know the depth of your contribution to our people until you're gone. And my response to him is, if that's what it takes, I'm good. But I would be lying if I said it was easy. I would be lying if I said that there aren't moments that I sit back and I just want to lay it down. I would be lying if I said that there aren't moments that I'm frustrated and downright upset with the lack of support. I would be lying If I said it doesn't bother me when I hear about our brothers killing our women and their kids, and when I hear about our young black males killing one another and robbing and victimizing our more vulnerable population, the kids, the women, and the elderly. I don't want to be dishonest and putting myself. Yes, I will ultimately be okay with leaving a legacy, but it doesn't mean that this doesn't come at a cost. And I can see why we don't have very many men who are really truly standing out there and going at it, because it comes at a steep cost. A lot of times there's nothing left for your family. Emotionally, you're drained. Spiritually, you're drained. Physically, you're drained. And you'll find yourself pouring family resources off into your purpose and your passion. We've got to do better. We definitely are going to have to do better as a people. We have so much potential. We have so much potential, but unfortunately, a great deal of that potential is falling by the wayside. It's not being actualized. It's not being activated. It's not being used. It's just sitting idle because we're not invested in ourselves. We're too invested in waiting on someone else to do what we have the capacity to do ourselves. I'm not going to stay long. I think I'm done, but I just had to drop by. We got to do better. That's the challenge I have for you. Do better. As a people, we have far too much at stake to be so casual about what we're facing, to be so selfish in how we move, to be so disconnected that we don't see the sufferings of the collective, that we can actually believe that everything is okay when there's absolutely total chaos underneath the surface. It's time to stop pretending that it's okay. It's time to stop pretending for the sake of not having to take action. It's time to be honest with ourselves and say, you know what? There's work to be done. There's too much work to be done to be sitting idly by. I don't know what my future holds, but I do know that as long as I'm breathing, I'm in the fight. And I'm going to continue to push as long as I possibly can. And I'm going to give everything that I've got until there's nothing left to give. And my hope is that at some point in this world, and in some point in time, the world will know that I gave it everything I have, and that I will have some way made sure that my family is okay. But know that as long as I'm breathing, I'm in the fight. I'm going to love on my people. I'm a black man, and I'm a black man unapologetically, which means I love my black woman. I love all black people, even the ones that don't like me. And I'm going to stand for what I believe in as far as my people are concerned. And I've done that even to my detriment. But I'm going to leave it all out there on the field. Not taking anything to the grave with me, because it does nothing there. I'm inviting you to step up and be a part of something that will leave a legacy, that will have an impact. I'm inviting you and challenging you to not sit idly by while our people fall, while they stumble, while they suffer, when we have the resources, the knowledge, and the ability to come together as a unit and literally do something extraordinary. They are so afraid that we're going to figure this thing out. And it's right there in front of us, but we've got to come together. On that note, look, I'm going to get out of here. Still have so much I need to be doing. And I don't know where I'm going to pull the energy from, but I'm about to get out here and give it a shot. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have a great day.